So hey, what's up mga ka-legit? So this is just a raw episode kasi bigla ko natandaan na exactly today, yung last day ko. At saka it's been a year since I left my permanent job. So for those people na ngayon lang nakinig, I'm actually a licensed professional teacher by profession. So I've been teaching for the past 13 years. And maraming school sa pinagturuan pero nagtagal talaga ako sa Ateneo Senior High School tsaka sa Ateneo Loyola Schools or yung tertiary or college level nila. So, just a short background, May 2024, yun yung nag-express ako sa team ko for the past 8 years na finally I'll be leaving Ateneo. It's actually a hard decision dahil kami yung pinaka-permanent and stable subject area nung time na yun because marami sa amin 5 years and above na yung years of service doon sa department. Lahat kami may masters, lahat kami permanent. So, since day one nung pagtayo ng senior high school, nung transition ng 2016, magkakasama na kami. And we were growing by that time. So, dati, 4 lang kami. Coach Jock, Coach Mike, Coach Angel. Then, natagdagan si Coach Gabs, Coach Isay, Coach Merida, and Coach Julie. May naging part-timers like Coach Dana. So, hindi man siya kilala lahat, pero yeah, yun yung growth na meron kayo for the past 8 years bago kami maghiwa-hiwalay. And yeah, there's so much to be grateful for all the years na I share with the people I work with. And nung pag-alis ko ng 2024, nag-increase ako ng teaching load sa college kasi back in 2021, I was invited to teach also sa Ateneo College, PE department. So, from 2021 to 2025, okay, doon ako nagturo sa Ateneo College. So, after ko umalis ng senior high, nag-increase ako ng teaching load sa college para at least mapantay niya yung sweldo na meron ako sa senior high kahit na wala na ako sa isang institution. But 2025, finally, I completely stepped away from academic teaching. Talagang gusto ko lang umalis ng schools. Hindi naman naging perfect, pero meaningful yung experience ko nun sa Ateneo. However, I somewhat describe some resentment na really traumatizing. Hindi dahil I have a bad experience with someone else from there. It's just that yung the fact na darating pala talaga sa time na despite the value you give, hindi mo talaga makukuha yung things or yung mga returns that you deserve. And hindi ko na siguro mapipilit yun dahil siguro hindi na lang kami magka-align ng mga previous institutions na pinagturuan ko kaya umaalis sa kanila. So, or maybe I just outgrown Ateneo. Okay. Like how I have outgrown the previous institutions that I worked for. Like yung Lord School of Mandaluyong, FEU Tech, okay, PUP, then finally Ateneo. Siguro di lang talaga nag-a-align. Iba na yung direction na, iba na yung direction ko. So, that put me in the verge of leaving until I did. And yung trauma's effect sa akin is parang ayoko munang magturo for a school for a year. Siguro, it will all boil down to the education system that we have in the Philippines na underpaid talaga yung mga teachers like me. And ako, nag-aasam lang din naman ng mas mataas na bayad because gusto ko naman magkaroon ng access to some comforts in life. Na yun nga na until I left Ateneo, hindi ko talaga makukuha sa kanila with their current state. So, kailangan ko maghanap. Hindi ko naman nakontrolado yun. So, iba na yung direction talaga. And dumating nga sa point na I even declared myself to be a retired PE teacher na at the age of the age of 30s. So, 2024, I left senior high school na nag-serve ako for 8 years and I stayed in college for another year until 2025 as my 4th teaching year. So, then, yun nga, pag alis ko, overnight, I'm jobless. And may short notice pa na pagkaalis ko dun sa Ateneo, yung dating tinitirahan ko is sinabihan ako na kailangan ko na rin mag-move out after 5 years of renting the space. kasi may iba na rin plans yung landlord. So I moved into a place where the rent expenses gone double. Okay, so napunta ako so from room for rent, nag-studio condo for rent ako bigla. Pero that's for the sake of more peaceful and spacious space. Spacious, what do you call this? Environment. Okay, kasi medyo maliit lang talaga yung kwarto ko nung time na yun. So, it's a 180 flip. No official job, okay? Paying times to rent. At buti na lang nakapag-ipon ako in the years of my serving in Ateneo. Tsaka yung mga racket-racket pa. So, meron lang akong mindset is, alamin ko kung paano ako malalagpasan. I'll figure it out. While it drove me to be more activated mode as a person, yung mga tao malalapit naman sa akin ay sobrang nag-worry. Which is, I totally get it. Okay? Kasi concern lang naman sila sa akin. Like yung mga ibang colleagues ko, kapatid ko, parents ko, yung girlfriend ko na soon to be my wife. Tinanong nila ako, generally, is, tingin mo ba, was it a better choice? Sagot ko lang, it's a choice where I felt I'll find peace. So now, it's been a year of doing things on my own. So, gusto ko encapsulate to by sharing yung kung isang bagay na natutunan ko for doing fitness coaching or freelancing for a year, being jobless or unemployed or basically self-employed, okay? And how did it turn out? Okay, na after quitting my job, I basically provide myself a job. So, paano ko bigyan ng trabaho yung sarili ko? And now, it's been a year and still surviving. And I think I'm in a much better place. But at the same time, a new challenging place. So, ano nangyari? Ano yung mga natutunan ko? So, ito yung 10 bagay na pwede ko i-share sa inyo. Una-una, nung simula ng pag-alis ko, ito yung una kong natutunan. What you're capable of doing at the present at kung ano yung mga nagawa mo in the past that you think it's good are good sources of confidence to face the uncertainties of the future. Kaya ako nasabi na I'll figure it out kasi at the back of my head, ang naisip ko is, wait lang, madami rin naman nalagpasan before. Ilang beses din ako humarap sa uncertainty. Ilang beses din ako humarap sa very confrontational situation na itetest yung kakayahan ko, yung beliefs ko, yung motivation ko. Pero, nandito ako ngayon, okay? So, by doing some reflections in the past and what those past experiences brought to me or gave to me, that hold me to be the individual that I am during that time, gave me confidence na sabi ko, wait lang, kaya ko. Buo pa rin naman ako, okay? And I'm a better person today because of the past that I've gone through. So, bakit di ko hayaan yung sarili ko mapunta sa process na nandito ako ngayon? Na I'll be facing new certainty again. So, anong meron ako na kaya kong gawin during that time at yung mga nagawa ko in the past? Una-una, of course, I started content creation. So, I was able to build traction in the social media space because of providing educational fitness contents. Okay? As positioning myself as a educator in fitness sa social media. And it brought me or gave me an opportunity to build something as a side hustle na pagkakitaan ko, like providing coaching programs to individuals through online. Okay? And yun yung naging parang extra income ko aside from teaching in Ateneo. And I also know how to build system kasi nung tuturo sa Ateneo, very healthy nga environment namin doon, very systematic. We have good leaders around the team. Kaya parang nakikita ko, ganito pala mag-build ng sistema, ganito mag-handle ng mga tao, ganito mag-manage ng mga different types of people, ganito pala mag-implement ng mga policies, rules, or guidelines. So, natuto rin mag-build ng system. At na-apply ko rin siya sa sarili ko pagdating sa routine, pagdating sa pagsusulat ng thesis ko noong time na yon, at the same time, pagsusulat ng mga lesson plan. So, I was enforced to build a system for myself that prepares me to translate it into a larger scale, like yung online coaching. Like, paano ko pinapagaan yung online coaching na kahit nasa abroad yung kliyente, nagagawa ko siyang i-coach ng tama. Okay, building frameworks and building knowledge sources. So, nakapagsulat ako ng libro. I developed the skill of writing na dati ayaw ko naman nung college at nung high school. Ngayon, gusto ko na siya. So, yun yung mga skills na meron ako. Ang meron din akong asset or personal trait is yung as much as na very composed ang tao, medyo yung like laid back ang tao, ay hindi ako basta-basta nagpapatibag. Like, ganun na. Napapaganon ako minsan kapag if someone competes against me, whether in a good way or in a bad way, ganun na. Sige, hindi ako basta magpapatalo. Hindi man ako ganun ka-fierce tingnan, pero I can say that I'm fierce inside. So, dun ako unang nagtiwala na magagawa ko to. Naalala ko pa ngayon time na first time ko mag-present ng research paper abroad. First time ko na mag-abroad. First time ko na magsulat ng research paper. Okay? First time ko mag-present sa international conferences na puro experts yung kaharap ko. I thought mapapahiya ko yung boss ko, like si Coach Joke at yung PE team sa atin. Pero it turned out to be well. Okay? Marami nag-approach sa akin noong time na yun na they really like my talk, my presentation. So parang kung yung ganung bagay na first time kong ginawa is maganda yung nangyari kahit di ako experience, diba? So, bakit di ko siya kayang ulitin ulit? So, doon ko na-realize din pala na hindi ka incapable. You're just incompetent yet. So, through experience, doon ka magiging competent. So, yun yung lesson number 1. Yung mga bagay kaya mong gawin ngayon, na may ebidensya ka, at yung mga nagawa mo in the past are good sources of confidence para harapin mo yung mga hinaharap. Next, your competence deserves a witness. So, natutunan ko ito sa pag-create ng content. And at the same time, natutunan ko rin ito from someone na I just consume content in the past. Na parang unang-una, ang cringy ng mga ibang tao na, papansin. Sabi ko, magmamagaling. Gusto niyo ipakita, ang yabang. Gusto niyo ipakita kung gano'n siya katalino. But hindi eh. We have to accept the reality and the fact na most of the time, the eyes of the people are on the screen. Kung kaya nila mabuhay sa isang kwarto lang na nag-scroll sa social media and still getting news about the outside world, di ba? So, paano ko makikita ng taong yon, which is ikaw pa yung makakatulong sa kanya, kundi siya lalabas ng kwarto, di ba? So, ano yung only way para makita kanya? Ngayon, sa social media. Okay? Hindi ko naman sinasabi na social media lang yung way. But what I'm trying to say here is, the game right now involves social media. So, kapag magaling ka, sometimes you really have to document it and show it to the world. Kasi, hindi enough na sa sobrang galing mo, mahahanap ka kaagad. Automatic mahanap ka agad. Hindi. You have to be shown. How good you are at work should be also placed na kung saan yung mga mata. Hindi naman yan ibig sabihin you're an attention seeker. And I consider it as you're just basically putting yourself, your valuable self, in the market. Okay? Kasi lagi ko rin sinasabi sa mga kaibigan, sa mga students, clients ko, lalo pagdating sa pagbebenta ng sarili, whether by monetary in return, validation, or affirmation. Okay? Basically, when they are promoting themselves, na huwag kayong matakot ibenta yung kakayahan at sarili ninyo. Kasi if meron kayong something valuable na magpapabago ng buhay ng isang tao, pero hindi nyo magagawang hanapin yung mga taong kayang magbago dahil doon, ay you're depriving the world, okay? Hindi kayo nakatulong sa mundo kasi tinatago nyo lang eh. 'Di ba? So parang may sobra kang pagkain, busog ka naman. Tapos meron taong lalakad sa tapat ng bahay mo na gutom na gutom. Okay? Ang sarap mo kumain. Ang sarap mo magluto. Sobrang pagkain, hindi mo man napapatitikim yun dun sa tao na nangangailangan ng pagkain na yun. 'Di ba? So, parang kailangan mo talaga mag-share. And for us Filipinos, medyo may bad note tayo dyan sa mga nagbebenta, parang desperado na. Hindi naman, parang if you have something valuable, it also deserves a return that is also something valuable. Whether money, affirmation, or kung ano pa yan. Okay? Kaya give and take nga lang dito sa mundo, di ba? So, yun yung isa sa mga revelations sa akin na natutunan ko in the past year na okay lang magbenta basta't magbabago ng buhay ng isang tao, hindi yung sisira ng buhay niya. Wala kang dapat ikahiya doon. And showing your competence in public is a good way of captivating people na kailangan din yung skills at saka yung capacity mo. There are some people who are trying to solve problems in the world at kailangan nila ng taong susupport nun. Magiging part ng machinery para masolve yung bagay na yun. And if you align to that advocacy, di ba, bakit yung magtatago? So, kailangan mo talaga magpakita. At ito yung mindset na binigay ko sa sarili ko that provided me so well. Dahil akala ko wala nang magiging trabaho. Di ko alam, during that time, nung umalis ako ng Ateneo, nung day 1 na jobless ako, ano gagawin ng trabaho maliban sa freelance coaching? Hindi naman to enough. Marami yung kailangan ng bills sa bayaran. At the same time, maraming bagay na gustong gawin for myself. Okay, na hindi obligasyon, but it's more of like na pwedeng magbigay sa akin ng leisure, okay, satisfaction, na walang pressure, di ba? Yung papasayahin lang ako kahit gumastos ako. So, marami akong naging collaborations. Actually, lumaki pa yung mga collaborations ko where I work with DepEd, National Academy of Sports, tapos mga ibang speakerships na nababayaran ako ng sobrang taas. I don't want to say sobrang taas. Siguro yung sobra is subjective for me. Yung sobra, it's because hindi ko siya makukuha sa teaching job ko lang. And I'm just exerting low effort. I just make sure na quality yung ibibigay ko sa kanila para maging deserving ako dun sa pay or ganun kalaking pay na rarely ko lang natatanggap. Okay, so yun yung nag-provide sa akin ng opportunity is to showing how I work. Okay? Dalawa yan eh. Yung mga taong mag-benefit sa work mo will find you, and those people who don't like your work or who hates your work will turn their backs on you. And it's a good thing, okay? Mas nagiging clear sa'yo kung sino yung may gusto sa'yo at kung sino may ayaw sa'yo. So you determine and you discover who you will be serving. So it gives clarity. Okay, next, abundance can be dangerous. Ako, admittedly, so sobrang abundant ng time during ng mga periods na yon. Hindi ko alam kung paano siya gamitin. Para akong nanalo sa loto at hindi ko alam kung paano gamitin yung pera. Na I think, kung itatranslate ko to, hypothetically, sa situation nalo sa loto, baka nga nagka-bisyo ko. Pero ang naging bisyo ko nung time na yon ay doom scrolling. Marami sana natapos. Okay, siguro it's a first time for me na magkaroon ng abundance of time. And di ko alam kung paano i-manage. And ngayon, that experience gave me so much information, so much inputs, and so much confrontation to myself na dumating pala sa time na hindi ko marunong mag-manage yung oras kahit na sa mata ng ibang tao mukha akong marunong mag-manage yung oras. So dati morning person ako. Yung pala, morning person lang ako kasi may time in sa trabaho. Pero nung nawalan ng time in sa trabaho, hindi pala ako morning person. Sinasagot ko yung tulog ko hanggang 9, 10 a.m. na ako nagigising. Okay, so hindi ko pa alam kung paano siya gamitin. At dangerous yon. So marami sanang natapos. Pero marami rin nung natapos na meaningful. At the same time, tingin ko marami lang sanang mas natapos pa. Dahil after a year, inisip ko pa rin sana pala ginawa ko nung time na yun. Okay, so yung earnings din, of course, dahil yung sabi ko, mas nababayaran ako ng mas malaki in a less time of exerting effort or what do you call this, or making some actions. Okay, may mga bad purchases din ako. Dumaan din ako sa impulsive buying. Kasi, nagka-pera ako, ma-afford ko na rin to sa wakas. Okay, kailangan ko i-satisfy yung sarili ko na never ko naman nagagawa nung college ako. Okay, sakto lang naman yung meager income lang naman kami nung bata ako, pero dahil nga marami kang magkakapatid, hindi sa lahat ng bagay makukuha ko yung gusto ko kasi My parents have to be fair sa aming magkakapatid. Yung attention, okay, although I was very good at this, never naman talaga ako naghanap ng attention eh. Okay. It's just that ang nagbigay ng attention talaga sa akin in doing content creation in fitness is siguro not yung itsura ko. It's more of like my hot takes on things na hindi lahat ng tao kayang i-handle yung discussion na yun. And I was trained for that. Okay, so na-manage ko din siya. Parang sabi ko nga sa mga ibang followers ko na naging friends ko na rin na di ko naman na-expect eh. I'm not aiming to be popular. I'm not aiming to, to get attention. Siguro dahil masyado lang matapang, masyado lang din straightforward yung mga sinasabi ko, that's why it gets attention. And it also benefits me. It also benefits my fitness. Dahil sabi ko nga kung hindi ka magaling, hindi mo papakitang magaling ka, hindi ka makakuha ng attention, hindi mo makuha yung mga attention ng mga taong matutulungan mo. Yung mga tao ding magbibigay sa'yo ng validation na you're good at your work. Okay, so okay naman kumuha ng attention, lalo na if you mean business. Okay lang yun. Kasi attention is also a currency. Kung di kilala ng tao yung ginagawa mo, yung benefit na pwede mibigay sa kanila, if you're not really getting attention, wala ka rin makukuha for yourself. Dahil kung wala kang makukuha for yourself, you will be less capable of giving out yourself to others. Kasi paano ka nga naman magbibigay kung walang-wala ka na rin? Okay. And of course, yung validation. I was really good at this. Dahil never naman ako nasanay na mabigyan ng compliment. Okay? I'm not yearning for compliments. I'm just yearning for validation na I did my job well. Okay? Natulungan ba kita? Na-solve ba natin yung problem mo? Okay? Hindi yung yung galing-galing mo kasi medyo may na rin ako doon eh. Yung pagiging magaling is not actually something that I just pursue or chase just to get validation. It's actually, I just have no choice. Dahil nga, I'm doing things for myself. Wala naman ng safety net. Hindi mo nanggaling sa napakayaman na pamilya. So, kailangan ko maging magaling to survive. Not, kailangan ko maging magaling para lang mapansin. Kasi if I don't choose to be competent, magugutom ako. Okay? May mga bagay na hindi ako magagawa na magpapasaya sa akin. Kaya parang minsan yung mga tao, pag sinasabi, uy, galing-galing mo, ang ganda ng ginawa mo, parang napakagaling mo, idol kita. Well, I appreciate those things, pero deep inside parang inisip ko, kung may choice lang ako diba? Parang, kung may choice lang ako hindi mapansin, if may choice lang ako na if I don't mean business, kung pwedeng less attention makuha ko and still I'll be able to satisfy my needs, hindi. Kailangan kong galingan para hindi magutom, para hindi maging, ma-jeopardize yung welfare ng iba, magawa yung obligasyon ko sa ibang tao. Hindi ko ginagalingan para lang ipakita sa mundo na magaling ang tao. So, hindi ganun kababaw yung dahilan kung bakit kailangan kong galingan. Okay, so yeah, that's the third. Abundance can be dangerous if di mo siya alam kung paano gamitin. So fourth, increasing your value is a subtraction thing. So paano ko nasabi to? Nung 1 year of doing entrepreneurship, freelancing, and providing job for myself, and blatantly showing it sa social media, marami talagang papasok na opportunities, and not all opportunities are made equal. May mga opportunities dyan na babayaran ka lang, but the meaning and the value it has doesn't have something to do with the value that you're aiming for. Magkakapera ka lang, pero you won't feel the depth, you won't feel the meaning, you won't feel the the value or the peace sa pag-accomplish yung mga ganong klaseng trabaho. Gaya nung sabi ko before, marami rin namang, kahit hindi naman ako big time content creator, or never naman naging influencer, marami pa rin mga emails na nagpo-propose ng mga collaborations that I refused or I didn't accept. Kasi unang-una, yun nga, hindi align sa values ko. Number two, talagang pera lang yung nakita ko. Number three, I'm not the best person. I think I'm not the best person for that. And number four, yung iba, parang mema market na lang. Okay? Mema invite lang as an influencers to promote their brand na hindi ko naman ginagamit. Okay? Meron naman iba dyan talagang binabarat ako na parang, wait lang, as much as kaibigan kita, at the same time, I know the value of my work, pero I won't settle for that. Okay? So, medyo strict ako sa ganung bagay na I also have my needs. At ako yung magsasabi kung kailan ako magbibigay ng libre, kailan ako hindi maniningil. Okay? It should be in my timing. And there are some people who are not comfortable with that. Kaya it really costs some people in my life na mag-increase yung distance between us. It's because of that. Okay? And I think it's okay. Kasi if may nawala o may lumalayo, malamang may lumalapit din. So, kung gusto mo ma-increase yung value mo, you have to learn to say no. Mukha lang siyang ironic na, wait lang, yung increase is plus eh. Hindi. The more you make yourself good at saying no, the more you place margin or place space or give access to things that adds value to you. Okay? So, etong opportunity na to na hindi naman okay sa'yo, pero nag-say ka ng yes, might cost you an opportunity that gives you 3 times the value. So, talagang kailangan mo maging clear sa mga bagay na you will be saying no and you will be saying yes. Ako, sa akin, ang inisip ko lang talaga is yung pag 95% yes ako, go na yun. Yun yung threshold ko. If hindi umabot ng 90%, na yes yung gusto kong sagot sa isang particular na bagay, it's automatically a no for me. Pero yan, kailangan ko ma-apply yan pagdating sa pag-satisfy ng mga needs and satisfaction ko, yung pleasure ko na, yun nga yung parang, minsan damit, sapatos, okay? So parang minsan, bilhin ko kaya to? Kahit 90% yes lang siya or 89% yes siya, parang bibiling ko pa siya. Hindi naman ako laging ganun, pero sometimes kapag kunyaring, I think I need to treat myself, parang kailangan ko rin ng onting buffer na wait lang or delaying tactics na kailangan ko ba talaga ito bilhin. So medyo may ganung battle ako sa sarili ko in the past na hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin perfectly ko na-overcome pero may mga scenarios na nagagawa ko siyang ma-overcome na hindi ko pala kailangan to. Okay? Hindi ko kailangan bilhin to. So increasing your value is a subtraction where you know how to say no to things so that you can say yes to more opportunities that multiplies your value. Next, currently for me, yung after 1 year ng pagiging jobless and providing a job for myself, is wealth is described as flexibility of choice, time, and mobility. So, paano ko nasabi to? So, isa sa mga parang exact scenarios na naging masaya ako is yung unang-una, hindi naman mapagdamot yung boss ko sa leave pero hindi ko kailangang magpaalam if I wanna go somewhere. Okay. Parang in a weekday, nasa beach ako. Kasi kasama ko yung fiancé ko. In a lunchtime, actually, hindi nga lunchtime. Okay, in the middle of the day where some people are working, I met an old-time friend. Some of my former students, nakakapagkape kami na parang sa working hours ng typical Filipino. Okay? Well, I'm not demeaning or discounting yung ibang buhay na parang kami nagla-lunch kayo, nagtatrabaho dyan. Hindi yon. It's just that yung pinanggalingan ko na si Old Ja na kailangan magpaalam, maraming proseso para makausap isang kaibigan na matagal niya hindi niya nakita in person. From being the Ja na wala siyang kailangang hinga ng permission. So, yun lang yung parang comparison na meron ako. So, if gusto kong i-move yung ganitong bagay, dahil may biglang importanteng bagay na mas kailangang attendan, I have the flexibility of choice na i-move mo na to and unahin mo na to. Okay, so, yung time naman is yung yan yan, I'm not honestly good at it during that time. Pero I'm actually slowly improving the use of my time. Pero ang sinasabi ko dito is, pag for example, may mga kamag-anak akong gusto kong makasama, gusto kong makausap, gusto kong makita, ganun din. Na-adjust ko yung time ko. Ako yung nag-set ng time ko for them, for myself, for my fiancé, and for the work that I do. And yung mobility is yung I can work anywhere. Okay, na pwede yung sumama sa fiancé ko pag kailangan ko siya samahan out of town. At the same time, dala ko pa rin naman yung work ko. At hindi ko napapabayaan yung job na pinaprovide ko for myself. So, yun yung wealth for me. I experience almost siguro earning a lot of money. Okay, hindi lang stable, very volatile din siya, to be honest, volatile kasi equal siya sa effort mo eh. Okay, so hindi naman sa lahat ng oras you're at your 100%. Unlike yung mga 8 to 5 job na whether may sakit ka, whether sobrang galing mo, o may mga taong tamad, same yung sinusweldo or may sweldo pa rin sila. It's about the moral compass na lang, tsaka work ethics na pinag-uusapan doon. So, yun yung wealth na meron ako, na I was able to earn money na never ko na-earn before, pero ang pinakamasaya sa akin is yung I was able to say yes dun sa mga taong napaka-importante sa akin na matagal kong di nakikita. I was able to say yes to events na namimiss ko before, na pahirapan pang puntahan kasi may kailangan o isikasuhin. I was also able to say yes to new things. Nung I lost myself after my ACL injury sa basketball dahil basketball was my first love. Doon ko nakikita yung sarili ko na competent ako kahit di man ako high-level player. Pero nung na-injure nga ako and playing basketball is a more risky thing for me to do, I found the sport, new love sa tennis, where I find myself improving. Kaya yung mga bagay na hindi ko nagagawa nung athlete ako, yung mga work ethics ko as an athlete before na hindi ko nagawa noon, na-apply ko siya sa tennis. So, I was able to get new things dahil yun yung wealth na meron ako. Yung may choice, may time, and mobility. Pang-anim, only a good dosage of ego is healthy. Hindi pwedeng wala kang ego. Okay? Kasi kailangan maging survival mode eh. Kailangan mong galingan. Kailangan mo i-push yung sarili mo. So sometimes you have to be delusional na para may kakompetensya ka at hindi pwedeng matapakan ka niya. Pero hindi rin ibig sabihin na you have to be egoistic, na parang wala kang mali. You're always assured of yourself. You're always certain. So, ending kapag pumalpak or it turned out not the way you like it or not the way you planned it or foresee it, is parang frustrated ka na feeling mo you didn't do a good job. Hindi. Kailangan mo ng certain amount of ego lang. Nasa gitna lang. Kasi hindi pwedeng sobrang yabang mo. Hindi rin naman sabihin sobrang humble mo. Kasi mahirap kapag nandun ka sa dalawang spectrum or ends na yan. So, dapat may saktong-sakto lang. Walang sobra or kulang na nakakabuti. Kaya ako, pinanggagalingan ng confidence ko ay unang-una is truthful yung trabaho na ginagawa ko. Pangalawa, I'm just stating the facts kasi nga educational videos. Pangatlo, I'm just sharing the truth, yung truth na meron ako. Okay? Kumbaga parang yung perception ba, di ba? Yung sabi nila, perception is reality. Yung truth na meron ako, sinishare ko lang. And I'm not uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable na ma-challenge siya. Tama ba? Kumbaga parang okay lang sa akin na ma-challenge yung truths na meron ako. Kasi I'm open naman sa iba pang POV. So, di ba? Parang kung mali ako, dali naman sabihin na mali, di ba? It's just a matter of accountability and responsibility. Na kulang, hindi precise, hindi accurate yung nabigay ko information. Sorry. Thanks for calling me out. And abangan ko yung mas precise na content mo or takes mo kasi I'm not here to solve everyone's problem. I'm not the Messiah. Parang yun yung lagi ko sinasabi sa mga kaibigan, tsaka followers ko, hindi ako Messiah. It won't take one person lang. One person is not enough to change things. It can only spark movements, ideas, discussion, pero hindi enough yung isang person lang yung papabago ng mga bagay-bagay. So, kaya din comfortable ako na despite people telling me na you have a good position, you have a good authority in the fitness industry, at the same time parang okay, I appreciate that validation. Pero hindi dun nanggagaling yung pinaka ego and fuel ko. Yung ego and yung motivation ko and confidence ko ay nanggagaling sa kung ano yung bagay na natapos ko. At yeah, okay yung may attention, okay yung kilala ka ng ibang tao, na-appreciate mo. Yun yung isa sa mga metrics na pwede mong tingnan if you're really doing well. Pero again, huhupa yun eh. Ang kailangan mong i-ensure na hindi huhupa ay yung consistency mo at saka yung motivation mo to work even though walang ibang nakatingin. 7, clarity I think is the best asset. Okay, hindi ko man siya totally na-achieve pa yet. Pero ngayon pa lang, partially nararamdaman ko yung benefit of having clarity. But not everyone can handle it. Kasi isa sa mga bagay na hindi okay, initially, if you are gaining some clarity is you have to let go of things. So, mahirap yun sa isang tao. And kapag naging malinaw sa'yo kung ano talagang gusto mong gawin, hindi yung goal or yung gusto ma-achieve yung mahirap i-achieve eh. Yung mahirap na part eh. It's letting go of things that will give you momentum. It will be letting go of things that holds you back in gaining momentum or some accelerations para mapabilis ka mapunta dun sa bagay na gusto mong gawin na clear sa'yo. Okay? So, parang, for example, if you want to be healthy, you have to eventually let go of sleeping super late, depriving yourself ng sleep, pag-inom, pag-yoyosi, pag-bibisyo, di ba? So, ang tanong dyan, comfortable ka ba matanggal yan if you're currently doing those things? Kasi hindi talaga pwedeng hindi mo pwedeng makuha mo yung bagay na gusto mo na wala kang let go. So, ano yan, talagang pahirapan yung pag-gain ng clarity. Not because the truth na makukuha mo from gaining clarity, but because of the truth na kailangan mong i-let go yung mga bagay na nagbibigay ng pleasure sa'yo just to validate that clarity and get things you want. And next, quality and over quantity is actually partially an obsolete thinking na. So sabi nila na parang, quality over quantity. Parang mas okay na yung konti lang yung ginagawa mo pero quality kaysa yung quantity then mediocre lang. It's partially true for me. Nagbago yung pananaw ko sa kanya doon. Pero what builds quality is a quantity of reps. Okay? So, parang ang sinasabi ko dito is para makagawa ka ng isang magandang tumbling, gaya ni Carlos Yulo, yung pang gold medal tumbling routine niya, is he did some quantity of bad repetitions. Okay? So, sa pag-content creation, kailangan mag-create ng maraming bad content para ma-lead ka sa better content creation style. Para makakreate ka or sulat ka ng magandang libro, kailangan mong makapagsulat ng bad pages or bad chapters or articles first. Kasi kung walang quantity, wala kang something to refine. And yan yung kailangan ko practice ngayon kasi I tend to overthink things na parang dapat perfect. Ang nangyayari, every time I accomplish things, ang bilis ko agad itaas yung standard. Wala pa akong data, tinataas ko agad yung standard. Tinataas ko agad yung criteria. Pero dapat pala talagang you just have to let yourself out be out there, be imperfect. Okay? Kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin imperfect ka, you can't be competent. Okay? Competent people are also imperfect people. Competent people did also imperfect works. So, yun yung isa sa mga pinapractice ko ngayon na I think medyo naano ko na siya. Na sometimes merong magsasabi sa akin, uy, mali ata yung grammar mo dito. So be it. Ako, okay na yan. Okay lang yan. Hayaan mo ng taong mag-correct niyan. Okay, at least may kita na totoong tao yung gumawa. Pag hindi masyado maganda yung pag-pronounce ko ng isang word, okay lang yan. Nabubulol din ako minsan. So, yeah. Quality over quantity is partially an absolute thinking. It actually makes people think or instill perfectionism na kailangan super quality magawa nila kahit onte. No. You have to be bad multiple times to be good one time. And yan yung isa sa mga panghahawakan ko. So, perform imperfect executions or reps imperfectly. Hanggang sa mare-refine na lang yan and you will be doing it effortlessly at the same time gracefully. Then next, okay, everything can be perceived as testing. So yan din yung mga bagay na ini-instill ko sa sarili ko noong mga time na ginagawa ko tong entrepreneurship or freelancing. Everything is a test. Okay? So, at the same time, kailangan mo ng mental fortitude on doing this testing thing. I launched some webinars na hindi kinagat. Hindi ibig sabihin nag-fail na ako nun. Ibig sabihin, dito yung gusto ng tao. So, I have to test another thing. Then, until nag-organize ang sarili kong webinar independently, I promoted it in my own ways. Ako nag-create ng program. Then, biglang kinagat ng tao. Okay? So, it's about how to build the fat loss program if hindi mo afford ng coach. So, I charge people in this amount. Then, maraming umattend. So, kumita ako ng earnings na enough for me to sustain my needs. Okay? Na hindi ko nakuha nun sa Ateneo. Okay? So, hindi ko nakuha nun sa mga previous schools ko. So, pwede nakukuha ko siya pero I have to work longer. Okay? So, yun yung ibig ko sabihin. Kaya talagang ako, everything is a test. Okay? Test, and get data. Tapos, after getting data, test better. Okay? Test better things. After getting data, test the best things. So, it just keeps getting better lang din naman talaga. Okay, kahit yung binuo kong built on evidence coaching, ang sabi ko sa nila, everything is a test. Okay, if may confidence kayo na it will work, it's safe, and you think it's the right thing to do, still, it's not final, you have to test it. So, treat your life is like a test lang talaga na you put yourself out there, test kung gusto mo siya, test kung hindi, then get data, get more clarity. The more you get clarity, the more you know how to test yourself, where to test yourself, and what test you should be administering or doing. Okay? Next, last. Deciding fast is a good skill. Parang dati sinabi, huwag kang tumpik, huwag kang yung term na yan? Huwag kang basta-basta mag-decide. Pag-isipan mo mabuti. Pero ako, I'm trying to learn the skill of deciding fast. And associated yung number 9, which is yung, I decide fast to test immediately, to test right away. Kasi ang naisip ko, if I decide fast or test fast, I get data early. Earlier than those people na taking their time to refine their craft. So sila, pa-launch pa lang, ako, alam ko na kung ano yung better things to do. Ano yung better things to craft. So, di ba, parang may advantage ka dun. Nagkamali ka na, alam mo na yung better choices, better decisions, siya, hindi pa rin yan natetest ko anong meron siya. Kasi ako naniniwala ako, you cannot improve something that never existed. So if yung idea mo ay nakapark lang, never mo nilabas, never mo tinest, hindi mo siya mai improve. Okay? Hinintay mo maging ready ka bago mo gawin tong bagay na to, hindi mo ma-improve yung sarili mo. Gaya na sinabi ko kanina, natural na maging incompetent ka at first. But you become competent by being worn out by experience, by putting yourself out there doing the work. Okay? So, kung di mo nilabas yung sarili mo, di mo nilabas yung trabaho mo, di mo nilabas yung work or craft mo, paano mo siya may improve? So, that explains bakit maraming dumb people who are doers na nag-excel sa buhay nila kasi they're getting data faster than those people who are intelligent pero over-preparing. Kaya ako naniniwala ako is full readiness is a myth. Okay? It's just masked incompetence. Okay. So, kailangan nyo mag-decide fast to get data fast, to get confirmation faster. Then, by getting those things faster, you get clarity faster. And lastly, yung bonus na lang siguro to, talagang totoong bonus. It was a lonely journey, at the same time, fulfilling pa rin. Kasi not everyone will be understanding sa kung paano ka mag-decide for yourself, kung paano i-manage yung sarili mo. When people hear to whom you say yes and to whom you say no. And since dito sa Pilipinas, di naman lahat ng tao entrepreneur, dito lahat sa Pilipinas may luxury of time or privilege to manage their own time. Parang minsan may mga malalapit kang tao sa'yo na hindi na kayo nagtutugma at nag-increase yung distance. Not because of disagreements, but because of unmatched pacing ng buhay ninyo. Walang better sa amin. But it's more of like, ako na naman nagko-content creation halos sa magkakaibigan. And I get bashed sometimes because of my takes. Pero may ibang busy buhay din yung mga ibang kaibigan ko, may pinagdadaanan sila. So, it can be lonely sometimes. And minsan, since you're providing a job for yourself, you have to create for yourself. And you might have to create something big na ikaw lang ang pwedeng gumawa. And you have to say no to a lot of moments and times na minsan yung satisfaction na nila yung ma-compromise. Yun yung minsan trade-off na dapat mong tanggapin na may magtatampo sa'yo, may matatakot para sa'yo, there are people who will tell you na risk yung ginagawa mo, hindi okay yan. Pero wala kang ibang choice kundi paniwalaan yung sarili mo. So, lonely talaga siya. Ako, parang ang pinaka-experience ko since I'm living alone, hindi pa kami move in ng partner ko, is, yung ibang scenario na after kong magbigay ng take, mababash ako sa social media, all I have is myself. Na, doon nag-scroll ako, nababash ako dito. Ito yung sinasabi against me. May ad hominem na. So, all I have is myself. Then, tatawagan ko yung fiancé ko, nakita mo yung content ko, ang dami dahil pa lang may reaction, no? So, of course, she gives comfort. She gives her support. Pero in the physical world, yun nga, parang ako lang mag-isa. Okay, na dati sa Ateneo, if I have some disagreements with some colleagues, meron akong someone who I can console with. Okay, like yung PE department. But now, it's totally me lang. Kaya siguro ito, yung tattoo ko dito, yan, lone wolf yan kasi I want to ingrain in myself yung characteristic ng lone wolf na whether may kasama siya or wala, kikilos siya. Whether may kasama siya or wala, magiging matibay siya. Okay? Whether may kasama siya or wala, whether someone's watching or wala, he'll do the work. Okay? She will do the work. So, yun yung isa sa, parang itong spirit animal ko, lone wolf. Fierce inside, independent, tawag doon, with high work ethics na gusto ko pa rin ma-develop. Natingin ko, hindi ko pa rin talaga totally na-achieve yung best work ethics na meron ako. Pero, ang talagang inaano ko sa sarili ko ay gagawin ko whether may kasama ko or wala. And ang trade-off nun ay I can be lonely sometimes. So, masaya pa rin kahit na lonely. It's because not all people are willing to take the path na pinili mo. At alam kong ganun ka rin sa ibang tao. It's just that accepting the trade-off, making peace with it, hanggang sa ma-endure mo na siya at maintindihan mo na kasama siya sa price na binabayaran mo if you're after something. If you want a stable work, okay, may fixated oras ka, you have a boss na kailangan mo masatisfy, you have a community of workers na okay sa'yo, at the same time, iba naman, hindi ka gusto. If you are peaceful with that, so be it. Ako naman, I like working in solitude, okay? Na minsan, gusto ko lang mag-isa ako, nag-work. Hindi naman totally introvert, pero I find peace in working on my own pace and alone. So, yun yung trade-off na ina-accept ko. Kaya, ano talaga, iba-ibang realities, okay? Hindi to nagpapamain character about my journey, about being an entrepreneur, about being unemployed and providing a job for myself, paano ko na-sustain yung mga pangangailangan ko kahit na hindi ako employed by someone else. So, how am I paying myself? So, it's not about telling you guys here that I have the spotlight. It's just that, yeah, it's generally sharing with you kung ano yung naging journey ko for a year of doing things on my own. And maybe I didn't have the monetary wealth that most Filipinos or most people are aiming for. Pero what I have now is the wealth of skills, a wealth of discipline, a wealth of clarity, and wealth of confidence na if I'm gonna be redoing this again, alam ko na mas maganda na yung execution ko. Because ngayon, after a year, I decided to teach again. And I'll be teaching as a lecturer, professor in PUP, in Sports and Exercise Science. I had a stint then noong 2018-2019. Ibang story yon. So, kaya di ako nagtagal. But hopefully dito, magtagal ako. And as I go longer, stay longer, I find more depth, I find more meaning. And mas nagtitiwala kasi ako ngayon sa leadership na meron yung department. So, I choose to be part of the teaching roster again. And yeah, basically, tuturo ako sa mga future fitness or training or athletic coaches from PUP na hopefully I can contribute sa pag-elevate ng fitness profession, fitness and sports profession, at saka ma-elevate yung industry through teaching again. And through doing some future works na hindi ko alam kung ano, okay, kung saan ako ma-assign. Again, dadalhin ko pa rin yung skill of saying no kasi I'm not the best person for that. I'm not the expert to that. And saying yes to things na I'm confident na kaya kong gawin yan. I'm confident that I can contribute to that. So, yun yung mga bagay na aabangan ko in the coming years. So, yes, I'll be teaching again. I'll be trying to redeem myself. Pero ngayon, ang clear sa akin, ayoko na magturo ng physical education. Kaya mas gusto magturo ng mga majors, yung mga theories and principles sa sports and exercise science na hopefully makapagtagal ako. And I'll be staying for more years para, to find more meaning and depth. So yun lang sa mga nakikinig dito. Siguro ang advice ko lang na mas bibigay sa inyo na lagi ko sinasabi sa ibang tao na nagtatanong sa akin, kamusta ako as a person, is kapag meron ka isang bagay na paulit-ulit nyo nang iniisip at it makes you, it turns your stomach around, tipong nasusuka kayo dahil sa takot na takot na gawin yun, pero at the same time na-excite kayo. There's really a lot of meaning, value out of it. So, ano sinasabi ko? I-pursue nyo yun. You'll figure it out. You have to learn to build your parachute while you are diving down to the ground. Okay? Kailangan mong, habang skydiving ka, kailangan mo matutunan gamitin yung parachute ng tama kasi hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin on the ground. Di ba? So, kailangan mo siyang gamitin habang pabagsak ka. Just put some margin. Okay? Magbigay kayo ng margin for yourself. Don't be hard on yourself na dapat ito agad yung ma-achieve ninyo. No. Give room for failure because a lot of insightful data comes from failure more than the accomplishment. Okay? Kasi pag nakaka-accomplish kayo isang bagay, you just have to do it over and over again. But if you fail, there's a discovery out of it. At importante yun. So, when you succeed, ulit-ulit lang. If hindi siya sira, don't fix it. Okay? If it's working, don't fix it. If it didn't work, okay, get data from it, test, then until na mag-work siya. Okay? So, yun lang yung ma-advise ko sa inyo. And thanks for hearing this episode. And hopefully, marami kayong tutunan. Again, you are your own navigator. You are your own story writer. Okay? Yung mga nakukuha ditong value is something that you can apply on your own, but in a different context and different, in different fashion. Okay? So, yung mga advice ko dito ay pwedeng makabuti sa inyo or maka-harm sa inyo. So, take it from grain of salt na piliin nyo lang kung ano yung effective sa inyo. So, yun lang guys. If you like this episode and gagawin kong personal din kahit paano itong Keep It Legit podcast, hindi lang super educational, but more of educational kasi yun nga ang work ko is providing educational or reliable information on fitness. Whether you're someone na enthusiast ka lang or you are an aspiring fitness coach or you're currently a practicing fitness professional. So, subscribe kayo dito sa YouTube or sa Spotify ko. And if you can leave a comment or review, ma-appreciate ko yan. Tapos, if gusto niyo i-tag story sa mga stories ninyo, tara, i-repost natin yan. Minsan, nag-review naman ako ng mga inboxes ko. So, yun lang guys. Keep it legit. Stay present. Have a good day.